Cha-cha.
Sweet spins. They're the hottest gift of the holiday season. And now they're literally the hottest because they also explode. Sick! It could be
game time.
All right.
It's game time. So it's interesting, Tom Merritt. Tom Merritt, of course, host of Daily Tech News Show. Tom Merritt, host of Cord Killers, co-host of Sword and Laser, writer of books, singer of songs, probably.
In the shower?
Although, yeah, I was going to say in the shower, maybe in the backyard where he keeps his iPhone and his AirTag.
That's right.
Yeah, he goes out there to visit them, sings them a lullaby, and then goes back into bed. I have it in my head that I'm calling you like every month or so and saying, hey, can you do this thing with me? And then I check back and I go onto Skype and it's like, you last talked to Tom Merritt 3 months ago. Like, really? Feels like it was sooner ago than that. So I went back to check how many times you have spun the wheel of stuff, because I keep telling people, I think this is your like 4th time or 5th time. This is only your 3rd time playing Wheel of Stuff.
Only the 3rd wheel spin?
That's what I've got. Yeah, that's why, because I went back and checked.
It does feel like it should be more than that.
Good. Well, here's the thing. I'll have you back next week, and
was I on when the Wheel of Stuff was replaced by something?
No, the Wheel of Stuff replaced something. You did. You did an album side. Yeah,
right, that's right.
So there was album sides, and I was like, well, I'm having people back on again. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, give us another album. Yes, you do. Yes, we all predate. Well, not all of us, I guess. There were kids born, for crying out loud. Anyway, I know people know this. I had somebody write to me, by the way. So I picked up an app in the App Store called Daily Decision Wheel. Longtime friend of this show and friend of mine. When I say this show, I mean actually Mac OS Ken. So somebody I've known about, been in contact with for got to be over a decade now. Wrote to me and said, I picked up the app and I love the app. Can you please send me the list of topics that you've had for Wheel of Stuff? And I'm sorry, sir, I cannot, because I keep changing stuff out because it gets too repetitive. So, yeah, I might be able to go back and rebuild it. I have not had time.
Sounds like an exercise for the listener to go back and listen to all the Wheels of Stuff.
Well, yeah, but that feels rude to be like, do it yourself.
Oh, no, not the person who wants it, but some other listener who's like, that sounds fun to me.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's right. Yeah, you can go back and say, and then you could chart stuff. Steve Sheridan, actually, when I was doing a Mission Log, charted everything we did for Mission Log. Like, did we like it? Did we not like it? Did it hold the Star Trek thing? Was it, kind of amazing? I'm not asking Steve Sheridan to come up with a list of all the Wheel of Stuff.
Of course not.
No, that would be rude. Anyway,
but if there were someone who really liked charts,
right, who liked doing that kind of thing and sharing it on the internet, hey, I don't think anybody would stop.
Pete Paradin or whoever.
Meave Meriden. Anyway. So new topics all the time. These will be new to you because I went back and checked the 2 times and you have not had any of the topics that are on the wheel currently. I will also tell you, I have introduced a bonus question and I'm going to ask you the bonus question at the end. Before we get to the bonus, though, are you ready, sir, to spin the Wheel of Stuff?
Is it allowed for me to spin my own wheel for my answers, or do I need to answer from the heart?
It'd be great if you answered from the heart, because I think people want to get to know, the real Tom Merritt.
Yeah, because I don't think it would be satisfying if I say, ask a friend. So, all right, I will answer from the heart.
Let me flip a coin and see. Here, I'm gonna spin the thing.
Let's do it.
Well, I said I was going to spin the thing. Hold on. There we go. All right, that's coming off the wheel next week because it keeps coming up. Granted, it's going to be a different answer for you, but I think people are going to think that I have like 4 topics on the wheel. And I actually have more than that. I would like for you to tell me a toy story. Now, let me tell you really quick the kind of things that we have done. I had a cousin who broke a toy of mine. Kind of a funny story, so I go ahead and tell that because he did it on purpose. Other people have told about the time they accidentally found their, Christmas toys a couple of days ahead of time. You can make it sweet. You can make it sad. You can make it a toy you never had. I'm curious, though, will you please tell us a toy story?
I still have the toy that is in my oldest memory.
Really?
And the way memory works, I now have a memory of remembering my oldest memory, basically. But at some point, I remembered running into my sister's room when I was probably about 3 years old, pulling a little play school wooden wagon behind me. That's all I remember. But I remember that. I remember being very young, running into my sister's room, pulling the little wagon. And at some point, probably in high school, maybe junior high era, people were talking about their oldest memories, and I was like, that's my oldest memory. So when I was cleaning out my room from home, at some point, I found the little play school wagon, and I was like, that's my oldest memory. I should hold on to that. And so I still have it.
Wow, that's really cool. Is it a place of pride? I mean, is it on display someplace? Or you're like, yeah, it's in a box in the closet, but I know where it is, and it makes me happy.
It's in a box in the closet, but I know where it is. And it makes me happy.
Okay, that's cool. No, that's great. There's no, yeah, that's awesome.
And I have had like nieces and nephews come over, and I've let them play with it. And that's always fun. I get a kick out of that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. My mom actually still has she has a rocking chair that I apparently sat in when I was like 2, and it's tiny. And anytime I'm home, which has been a few years now, but anytime I'm home, I see it. And it's kind of weird because I have no memory of it as like my thing. I have a memory of it as a thing that's around the house. And now she's got this creepy doll sitting in it, and she hates when I say it's a creepy doll, but seriously, look at the thing.
Does she call the creepy doll Ken?
No.
Okay. It's not that creepy, though.
I love that idea. That's kind of awesome. Are you ready to spin again?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
So here's a weird kind of, like, almost a coincidence. My earliest memory actually involves carrying a loaf of bread, and I still have that loaf of bread.
Now, do you put it in a pride of place?
Oh, yeah. It's on the mantle. Yeah. The flies stopped several years ago now because after a while it just becomes... sadly, I don't still have the loaf of bread. I wish I did, though, because it's a special memory and
amazing. Yeah.
One that I will carry with me forever. Your favorite comedian. See, this also came up last week. Apparently, I'm not shuffling stuff around enough. But again... Tom Merritt has never answered this question, and so
True.
I put the question to... Well, I mean, probably you have at some point, but you haven't for this show.
Not in a very long time. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time, Ken. Favorite comedian. This is that's interesting.
Okay.
I haven't had this question in quite a long time because I used to have very quick answers for this question. And now I'm realizing that those answers are incredibly old.
Okay.
And I can't actually remember the names of all the comedians that I used to like. So Bill Hicks would have been my answer at one point.
Yeah.
He was I went through a Bill Hicks phase.
I'm sorry. It sounds like you're just looking up comedians on the internet.
I am also doing that, but Bill Hicks really was somebody I liked. I'm trying to find the name. What I'm looking up on the internet is the name of Steve. Oh, there's his picture. Stephen Wright.
That was actually Rob Walsh's answer last week.
No way.
Absolutely.
It's not my answer this week, but it would have been my answer.
Back in the day. Let's go back to Bill Hicks really quickly because people need to know about Bill Hicks. Because on the off chance that there are people who don't. He was big, but he wasn't, he wasn't Stephen Wright big. Honestly, he wasn't. Right. Certainly wasn't Steve Martin big.
He died too early,
far too early.
So that part of his legend, but also probably why he didn't get bigger.
Yeah, you can find. I think you can probably find his stuff on Apple Music or any place that does the streaming albums. Highly recommend it. But then there's also a fantastic documentary about him that was on Netflix. I think. I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but I know it was on Netflix for quite a while. And what's amazing is 17, 18, 19 years old, he's talking about stuff that a 17 or 18 or 19-year-old would talk about, but he's still talking like the Bill Hicks who was performing until 6 months before he passed away.
Yeah.
He was absolutely incredible. But anyway, I'm sorry, you were about to go to somebody besides him and besides Stephen Wright.
More recently, I watched Toast of London, which is available here in the U.S. on Netflix. And Matt Berry is hilarious.
Okay.
In that. But I think my brain is circling around Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle always makes me laugh and always makes me think at the same time. And I never miss, like when Dave Chappelle put out that thing on YouTube where it was like super raw and he was just in front of some people for the first time early in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I immediately watched all of it. So it's Dave Chappelle.
All right. Somebody has actually said him before as well. What's interesting, and I don't remember who it was, and I'm not saying, pick your own answer. I'm just going to repeat myself what I said when they said it. The thing that's amazing to me about Dave Chappelle is he's come back and he's still Dave Chappelle, but he's a different person at the same time. Because a lot of people, I assume people know, he just went away. He just burn out, decided to take himself off the grid. I don't know exactly what happened there, but he just quit. And it's kind of neat that we get him back, but he's not coming back. It's not like the Mad About You reboot where it's like, hey, we're doing the greatest hits or we're doing the same stuff, right? He's a different guy now, but still the same guy and still just as funny. Are you ready to spend one last time, sir?
Let's do it.
I forgot that I had a goofy question I was going to ask you. Oh, well. Next time. We'll have you on. We'll have you on next week to do the wheel. And I'll ask you the goofy question. Right. I definitely need to change stuff up on the wheel because this one has come up a few times too. But I'm really curious to hear your answer in particular. Again. Well, no. The wheel has spoken, Tom.
All right.
I can't do that. Tell me about a magical place.
My impulse is to be incredibly smart alecky and in many different ways. I will try to take this in the spirit in which the wheel wants me to, though.
Okay.
All right. London.
Okay.
I've been many times.
Okay.
4 or 5 times.
All right.
Not many times.
Well, for me, that's many because I've been to London exactly 0 times.
I'm going to say that London is a magical place for me because every time I go, I don't feel like I'm traveling. Every other place I visit, and not just like Tokyo, Paris, but if I go to Chicago, if I go to Orlando, I feel like I'm traveling. I feel like I'm visiting. Even Austin, where I lived for 6 years, when I go back, I feel like a visitor. London always feels weirdly familiar and home-like. And I've often wondered about that. There was one time I was in London for like a day layover, basically. Like I had come in on a Monday, left on a Wednesday kind of thing. So I had like one full day to hang out. And I was just on my own, meeting up with some people that I knew there, but not doing much and just kind of ambling around. And I never felt that thing of like, okay, I need to figure out the map and know where I'm going and how to get around. Like, it just felt natural to be there. And it's been that way every time I've gone. All I can figure is that the amount of literature and television shows that I watched that reference London and take place in London have sort of seeped into me where I'm just unconsciously familiar with street names and things like that because I'm not actually familiar with it, right? It's not like I look around and I can tell you with my eyes closed, like, oh, the Pret-a-Porter is right there. And then but it just has that feeling to it. And that feels kind of magical to me.
Bonus question, by the way, and this is not on the wheel just because I want to make everybody answer it for a while. Who plays you in the movie?
Beck.
Beck plays you in the movie?
I did free association there, and I just let the first thing that came to my mind come out.
Okay. If you thought about it for another 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Have you not thought about this before? Because it was amazing.
No.
Rob Walsh had an answer like that. I've
definitely thought about it before, but I've never come up with a satisfying answer.
All right.
I think anybody can.
Okay.
Elliot Page could play me. It'd be fine.
Okay.
Well, because usually what people say when they're like, who would play you in the movie? It's because it's a character attribute about themselves they think the actor captures, often appearance, but not always. And I don't know, maybe I just lack self-awareness, but I'm like, I don't know what that is. The actor will be better at figuring that out than I am.